Hello, Paranormal Explorers. How are you today? A little bit earlier than usual because today I'm having, an overseas guest. And gonna go right there and shout everything on. And MC's here in the house. Cat Mary's in the house. Lee's in the house. Jasmine, hello Jasmine. Michael MT's in the house, and Shannon's in the house. Well, everybody, and we'll wait for the others to come in. And yeah, welcome back to the old kind of formula, showing some creators, presenting to you some creators. And yeah, but before I get to my guest, and you know who it is, I wanted to thank every one of you that took a time to win on that poll that I did and said, yeah, I want you to keep on going. Thank you for all those kind words and all those new subscribers that I getting that are filling that massive gap that I had. Thank you very much, you guys. I got 1,009 subscribers, but I got 1,009 friends that I will that I have that I will cherish. All right, thank you a million times. The games are on. If you want to try them, you do exclamation point points to know your points, exclamation point gamble to gamble your points, and exclamation point heist to throw a heist. So, without further ado, here is my guest. Here is Aimee from Shadow Hunters UK TV.
Hello.
All right.
You okay?
How are you today?
I'm good. Are you? You
Um,
okay?
good. Yeah, it's kind of sunny. You see the sun behind me. That's why I stream usually at night, that I don't have that massive sun behind me. But it's all good. It's all good.
Well, thank you
First,
for having
thank you for accepting.
me. I appreciate it. It's nice. It's lovely.
Before getting into Aimee's channel, I wanted to bring something to everybody's attention. That petition. Go and sign the petition for Colin. He doesn't deserve what's happening to him right now, because us as creators, we're not protected against that kind of happening. And I find it sad that somebody that will take so much hard work into something that is taking away from him. And I think you had the same take on this, Aimee.
Yeah, I agree. It's wrong. It's not nice. It's difficult for creators because it only takes a small few to have a little bit of a grudge, or for one person to say something that because they don't like you, and to create something, it's false accusations as well, like false information as well. And then that's your full reputation ruined.
Yeah.
And then your channel's taken away from it. All that hard work of over all them years, just gone.
And that's his job. That's
Yeah,
his.
livelihood.
He's bring bread to his table with that job. So
Yeah,
it's taking the job from somebody away,
yeah, it's
and
not nice.
that's not cool.
No.
So we're gonna go and discover Aimee's channel. Aimee's been having her channel since I've seen 2020. So you've
Yeah,
been
2020 is that's when my channel went up. But I've been doing in paranormal investigations for about 16, 17 years.
wow.
And yeah,
So you've been around. So you've been
yeah,
interested in the paranormal like all your life.
yeah. I'm 38 now, and from me being small, I've been fascinated from having experiences from being small and throughout growing up. That as soon as I was old enough to start going out and doing it myself and being able to join just small groups and investigating, that's as soon as I could do it, I did it because it's just I've always been fascinated purely because of experiences that I've had.
Well,
So,
for doing it like prior to like going out and filming it and bringing it to everybody, I think it's pretty cool because like you're showing your experience and experience she has because she's been to some places that and usually I will show you some of those clips, but I will show you this one. This one is so good. She did when you did that trailer for the murder house.
oh yeah,
You bring out a theory in there that is so freaking accurate. People sometimes focus so much on one event,
yeah,
but they don't look out the big picture.
no, there's so many layers in any paranormal investigation. You've got to think out the box. It's sometimes some of the stuff that happens, if activity does happen, I mean it may not, but if it does, you've got to think, how is this relevant to this place? And if it isn't relevant, don't just brush it off, because it may have been relevant at some point. I mean,
Exactly.
how old's the land? You don't know. What's happened on the land? You know, there's so many different factors that you need to look at. I researched too much. I drive myself mad because I research all the time. But if I didn't research, then I wouldn't have uh, the knowledge that I do now. Because I just find you have to, you know, dig a little deeper. Don't just take things as you may think they are, because it may not be. Keep it fresh. Keep your mind open, but always think out of the box what it could be. And it's so many different theories. So
Keep
yeah,
digging. Keep
yeah,
digging.
keep digging.
Go through your history
Yeah,
because
definitely.
you probably will find the answer to
Yeah,
something through history.
yeah, definitely,
Like if a
definitely.
house is built on a battlefield, well, things could happen, but
Mm,
it's not directly the house that is in in the fault. It's
yeah,
the land. What happened on the land before?
yeah, definitely.
And
Even to, even to, like what type of soil there is, what type of land it is built on, your soil, the clay, is it red clay? There's all different things that you need to look into, because there's certain, like red clay, for example, it's very similar to red brick. Red
yeah,
brick is supposed to absorb. From that, you're supposed to, it's the theory is, it with it absorbing so much, that's the reason why you get so much stone take theory, like the residual energy. So
limestone,
even
granite.
looking at those factors, I've got maps which pinpoint certain areas of the land, even down to what type of soil and what type of clay, what type of soils in the area, and So yeah, even stuff like that.
Well, you have to check and you have to take in charge everything that you are saying because you're so accurate. Because you will put a ramp out on the ground. Oh, there's nothing around it, so it must be paranormal. Well,
Mm,
it could be EMF coming out of the ground.
yeah, yeah. You gotta think logically. Because if you don't, you're fooling yourself. You you can't take everything as paranormal. However, you've got to look into different factors, and if you can definitely, most definitely say there's no way that anything that could have caused that, then it's not normal. So it is, it isn't normal. You can't prove it, therefore it must fit in a paranormal
Yeah,
box. Yeah.
but you have
uh,
to, yeah, exactly. So when you go around and you, you kind of look around and you find in the history something that could correlate the proof that you have,
yeah,
it's freaking.
yeah, it's cool.
Let's listen to that 2 minutes and just listen. It's a jewel. Listen. I'll even full screen it.
On tonight's investigation, I'm going back to the Screaming House. On previous paranormal investigations here, we've had some extremely strange activity, which has been quite unnerving. Situated on the border of England and Wales, this little bungalow has a possible connection to a cold case murder from 1977. A young girl went missing on her dinner hour and was found later on in the evening on an abandoned airfield inside a manhole, and she'd been strangled with her own tights. Nobody has ever been brought to justice for her murder. And the Screaming House is the location of where she may have last been. Since my last 2 investigations, I've been looking into the history of the surrounding area, and I've found out some quite interesting factors that may be causing the activity that we experience in this property. Now, at the end of the lane, there was once a castle. Now, where this house is situated, it is on the border of England and Wales, so there would have been many battles that would have taken place here.
Yep.
Lots of bloodshed, lots of anger, lots of emotions. Is this soaked into the land where the little bungalow lies? Now, if you go behind the bungalow, there's a forest. Just past that forest, there's an archaeological dig that is taking place, where they have found medieval ruins of a chapel, a medieval burial site, and also plague pits. So, the question is, are the hauntings of the Screaming House connected to the murder, or are they connected to the land?
Wow. Brilliant. Brilliant. You bring that. Everything is there. It's not
Yeah.
just that murder. It's everything. It's on the border of England and Wales. It's
Mm.
wow.
It's an interesting place. Oops, well, yeah, I lost everything then. It's a really interesting place as well. It's just, it's got a
I've
very,
seen loads of
place.
investigations in there. I've seen you the first time I've seen you there. You went there with Moxley.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, that shadow that went by, I think.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. That was strange. That was really, really strange. Sorry, let's start it out there. That was extra weird. We was walking up the lane towards the house, and I thought there was a dog at first, because I seen like a dark shadow.
Yeah.
And I stopped and I said to Mox, I went, there's something there. And I said, and I thought we're going to get attacked by a dog, because I'd seen it move, and it moved past the back of the car. It was solid. So he was like, where? And then it went big and just went. So it went from small, dog size, to big, and then shifted to just went. And it went big down like the side of the car. Well, it wasn't a person, where the car was literally driven up, right up in. So the side it went down, the passenger side, sorry, the driver's side of the car was butt up against the bush. So you would have heard somebody. There was no
or
sound,
something go through the bush. Yeah.
And it's like, what did I just see? So we stood for ages trying to figure out, was it our lights? And it wasn't, because our lights are shining on us. It wasn't the shadow. It wasn't. Can't explain it. Cannot explain it. And my words to Moxley were, honest, this is the gospel truth. I said to him, they know we're coming. And I don't know. I'm not psychic. I'm not medium or anything like that. I do believe I'm an empath. I feel I have a lot of weird gut feelings, and I don't know whether or not it's because I've been doing this for so long. I pick up on them, the different sensations, but I don't hear, like, I don't get messages, I don't speak to the dead or anything like that. I said, they know we're coming. It was almost like we was being watched, and it was just so strange. A very strange place.
You could be developing something, just like, I don't know, some kind of gift that you have. I know,
Yeah.
like for myself, never said I'm a medium, never said I'm an empath or anything, but when I get into a place where the activity is high, I get numb. My body starts tingling, and I get like a numbing sensation all over my body.
It's very strange, isn't it? It is so strange. And I think unless people do this type of investigations, unless you do it, you won't, or unless you've experienced anything paranormal, or you're amongst that environment, you won't understand that feeling. Or I can walk in somewhere, and I'll say, it'll just feel it's fine. I don't feel frightened. I don't feel on edge. I don't feel, it could look the most terrifying place, and I'll be like, no, nothing.
So,
I can walk in else, and if it looks homely, and it's like, no, don't like it.
What would we qualify, like, one your investigations, like you would say, like, no, when we went there, I didn't felt it, and we didn't get much, but
yeah.
Do you have a spot like that is like that everybody say, oh, go there, it's like, wow, over the top, and you went there? Nope.
Right, well, let me see. I've done 30 East Drive. Now, 30 East Drive, I had some strange experiences there. It's brilliant, but I didn't feel how I thought I would feel. I expected it to be. I didn't.
You were expecting something else.
Yeah, I expected to be absolutely terrified. But yet again, we had some strange experiences there, and there's a video of me, my face is like, I was scrying, and my mouth looks absolutely huge. This was in darkness. It was all caught on CCTV. We weren't filming at the night time. We only filmed during the day. we actually experience more in the day than what we actually did at the night time as well.
And sometimes that's, and I keep explaining it, and people, well, yeah, you have to go at night. No, sometimes you will have more activity during the day than during the night.
Definitely, definitely. I've we used to me and Moxley and Danny and a few others. We've been on many very early morning explores. So we'll get out and we'll go out about set off about 4:30 in the morning. Drive out for a few hours, get there for about 7 o'clock. Between 6 and 7 o'clock, and we'll go in explores wherever. We'll do paranormal investigation, and we've had amazing activity.
And
And it's
sometimes you will hear
more
voices and you will discard them because you will think it's somebody outside talking because it's daytime.
definitely,
But
definitely.
it could be an EVP, it could be anything. So
Yeah.
never discard, like, okay, I heard talking.
It's
Go
all,
and
it's like
check.
when I've had people say to me, "Why do you only pick up if you think you've seen why is it an always a ghost or an apparition that you've seen from 50 years ago or 100 years ago?" Well, because they look out of place. But who's to say I've not walked down the street and walked past somebody who's in modern clothing, who isn't you know, just because they look like they fit in doesn't mean that they might doesn't mean that we're all necessarily see them. We just presume that, oh yeah, well, you don't think you're going to see a ghost who's dressed in like a modern day tracksuit and a pair of trainers, because you wouldn't expect to see that. You expect to see something who's in old fashioned clothing and
It could be somebody that passed away recently and
exactly.
is like
Don't know.
tr- building up enough energy that is like trying to show himself to pass
Yeah,
a last message. We don't know.
we never know.
I
I
had,
don't think
yeah, go ahead.
I don't think we'll ever know in our lifetime. I
I
don't
had,
think we'll ever know what it
yeah,
actually is.
I had people on the plains of Abraham in Quebec City that seen, oh, I seen people doing a reenactment of the battle. No. And people said they seen people dressed like British or French soldiers.
Yeah,
Well, it happened. There was a battlefield.
yeah.
So it, it, never discard and say that, oh, well, I'm not going there, it's daytime, or I'm not going there. If you don't test it, you won't know it.
No, you've got to cover all areas as well, because you have to. Just because it's the only difference between night and day is daytime. Your senses, nighttime. Your senses are more heightened because it's dark. You feel a bit more on edge because you're in the darkness. If anything, when you're in the dark, it makes you feel more afraid. So, in a way, um, it's not the best thing for it's not it clouds your judgment slightly when in the dark because you're automatically scared, so you're on the back foot already. You're thinking, oh, so the slightest thing you could be terrified of, which
And
is the
I've
reason
read
why you've got to be logical about things and like look and go, was it though, was that bang that I heard then, was it, what was it, you need to, was
exactly.
it paranormal, wasn't it?
And I've read somewhere that when you are afraid, you are more susceptible to pareidolia.
Yes.
You will hear and you will see stuff
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. 100%. Yeah, very
So
true.
you have to really, like, I'm afraid of stuff, but I always go into an investigation saying, what could happen to me in where I'm going? If I'm going, when I went into the Hinsdale house, people say, whoa, there was an exorcism there. They cleansed the house shook and everything. Okay. went there and I asked, impress me, please. We had interaction, but not enough to, I don't know, that entity wasn't feeling that it would scare us or
Yeah.
something. And but we had loads of activity anyways. But I know that other investigators went there and had like freaking crazy activity.
Yeah.
So
That's the thing.
did you
Not
have
well,
that kind of place that you had like a crazy, like massive activity?
oh, do I have the place like that? I've got a few. Oh, right. So the murder house, the screaming house for me is that 3 times I've investigated that place. The first time, we had a lot of audibles, so we heard a man clear as day tell us to piss off, and that was we was like we was all there was me, Louise, and Barb, and we was like, who just said that? Who just said that? It was a man's voice, clear as day. And it was a very gruff voice that said it. And then the same the same night, we were setting our equipment up, and it was a female voice, and she says here, like that.
Mm.
And it was like I heard it here. Like, who just said that? Who just said? And I couldn't fathom because it was so clear. But what I found interesting about it was the voice that she said it in. That area, it was the accent of that area, which I found like that was fascinating for me, because we all have different accents depending on where you
Yeah.
live in the country. So, and then we heard a lot of crying that night, like sobbing, crying, and it was like, this is strange, and also all of the women experienced. At first, it felt like, have you ever had you have a cat and a cat brushes up against your legs and it weaves in and out your legs? But I felt it, Louise felt it, and also Barb felt it. And at first, I thought, well, maybe I wonder it's like a spirit animal. I've never experienced anything really like that before. But then the feeling got higher up our legs, and I was like, I don't like this. This isn't nice, and it only happens to the women and not the men.
Oh.
So for me, like, I don't like it. As if it wasn't something very nice. The second time I investigated there, now this really scared me, because I suffer with night terrors. So I've had like sleep paralysis quite a few times.
Okay.
So this 2 nights before, I had a night terror, and I'm trying to scream, couldn't scream, and all I could explain was I felt like something crawled the fingers up my back, like as if from the base of my back, and it crawled the fingers up my back, and eventually I screamed. This was 2 nights before I went to investigate, go back to the murder house, screaming house. So went with Moxley, went in, and calling out, and I felt that up my back, and it took my breath, because I can't explain to you. It felt, I went up on my knees, and I said I need to stop a minute, and I stopped filming because it made me cry, and I've never cried. I have never cried scared on an investigation before, never. And I said to Moxley, I said, I don't like it. It feels personal, and I just don't know why. I can't explain it. It just feels really personal, this place, as if it knows you. And if that was the night when I seen the shadow before walking up to the house, and to it, it knows you. And I explain why. Very strange. I've got my camera, and I'm filming him. He's filming me. You hear, and he's like, ah! It's the back of his head. So that place, I don't know. It's my little obsession of a place. I'm slightly obsessed over it, because I need to find out what it is. So many people have had experiences there, and what I find interesting is a lot of the experiences are very, very, very similar.
Yeah, and
And it's
all the other investigators that I saw going over there, it's
yeah,
always a banger.
it's brilliant. Ghost Theory. Do you watch Ghost Theory?
Yes.
Ghost Theory. They captured a shadow in the kitchen in there.
Yep.
They something walked past. It's a hatch, a door, like a hatch in the wall, and something walked past that. Well, all of our investigations, we always end up focused looking at that hatch. There's something about that.
Yes.
It's a very interesting place. But
I
yeah,
was
that's one
watching
of
the hatch all the time that was watching your video, your last one. I
yeah.
was watching the hatch.
I can't put my finger on exactly what. I do think there's something in there that's not very nice.
Something that
Not
feeds on fear, I think.
yes, and I think that's why. I mean, I want to sound really thinking. I get scared. I've been doing this for years, and I think don't get scared. Then I don't know. I think I'm scared of the unknown because I can't see it. Because I can't see it, and what's causing it, and how can you not be scared of not being able to see something? You can't physically see something. How
And
can you not be
that's the
scared?
difference between you and me. I have to, yeah, see it, but like back in my Aimee days, I had been shot at, and
Yeah,
so if something tried to throw things, or I will go and investigate. If I don't see
oh yeah,
anything,
definitely.
I will like brush it off. I will be more
Yeah.
scared being coming like face to face with somebody that is trying to scare me.
Yeah, I'm more scared of the living than the dead. 100% scared of the living, and most, the, the the scary thing about doing what we do is that you don't know who you're going to walk into. We go to some places and you don't know who's going to be in there. That
Yeah,
scares me more.
and that's the thing. And for my Canadian viewers, that over in the UK have loads of buildings that are just like left abandoned.
Yeah,
Because over
so
here
many.
in Canada, as soon as something is abandoned, you throw it down. Well, especially in Quebec.
Yeah. Well, there's so many over here. There's so many abandoned buildings. So many. It's unbelievable. And one of the reasons why I like exploring, I love history. So there's so many historical buildings that should be being saved that aren't being saved, and they're left to just fall apart, so they can then flatten them and build on the land. And it's really sad because there's so many historic buildings that are just falling to pieces, and they should be being saved. So we're quite lucky we get to go in and we get to see these places, because not many people will. Well, that's
That's
cool.
why I started looking into. Well, before I was really interested in the paranormal, but I started looking into paranormal on YouTube via explorers.
Yeah.
And most of the great and good explorers are from Europe, and mostly from the UK.
Yeah,
So
there's so many, there's some really cool explorers, really cool explorers. We've got quite a lot of, got a lot of good places to explore over here.
oh my god.
Lots of asylums. We've got old asylums, hospitals, and but a lot of hospitals that we have over here now, the older ones were originally asylums. Um,
And it's hard for us North American to put on dates, because our countries are so fairly young compared
yeah,
to the UK and France and most of Europe. And for us, it's hard to put a conception that a building could be haunted, because the land where it's built, it's well, that freaking old. And before
Yeah.
that building, there was another building and another building and another
Yeah.
building. And that's the thing we don't have here.
Mm.
They
Yeah.
will leave a building. Yeah, it could be built on like a former battlefield, or probably, I don't even know. My house is fairly young. Our house is 11 years, and I don't know what happened here on the land. Could have a native battle. I don't know.
I've got a thing. I've got a map which is really cool, and it's an overlay. I can't think what the website's called now. I think it's called I think it's something like Geo Maps or something like that. And what you do is you have a list of old maps that go back as far as they have, and you bring up your map. So you have your satellite view of what we see now, and then you put in the address, and then you go on to split screen and overlay. So you can overlay the map, the old maps, onto your map, and you can see exactly what was there as far back as it takes you, which
Wow.
is fascinating. So you can see if you where say we have our eye on somewhere, I'll go right. Let's have a look at the history and see what was there
And,
previous, prior to it. Or and that's brilliant. It's a great tool to use.
and that's the thing, because most of the UK, you have maps that date back probably to like the 10th, or probably earlier, the ninth
Yeah,
century.
yeah,
But over here in Canada, we have not like the same amount of people that knew how to draw maps over here than back in the old countries, we called them.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree.
So, like, I know that explorers came up the river here because the river near my home was one of the highways for the fur trade. And where I live, there's a big, massive waterfall, and where all the waterfalls where there were native settlements,
Oh, right, yeah,
because it was a place to where the hunters and the travelers will get their canoes out of the water to transport it, and sometimes they will stop and rest at that village near that fall. So I know there was a settlement here, but what happened, I don't know. So
so interesting, isn't it? It is interesting. I wish I had a time machine. I could jump in a time machine and go back.
I would
Would
go
love
back.
to, just
I
to see.
would go. And I've seen a couple of names. I've seen that Lottie just came in, and Jordan just came by and popped
Hello.
to say hello. Hello, and thank you for dropping by. And I think Lottie's gonna stick. Jasmine is still there. Sheldas is here. Fubar, yeah. Lee, yeah. Is there a place that you would love, that you dream, that you it's like right there on the top of your bucket list?
Oh, that's a hard question.
It's hard.
So,
Or
yeah,
a couple. I don't know.
I'd
Yeah,
love to do Bobby Mackey's.
Bobby
Uh,
Mackey's okay.
Bobby Mackey's Music World. I'd love to do that. Um, Only because I've seen so much. I've watched so many videos and investigations there. I need to know what it's like for myself. Definitely need to know what it's like for myself. Um, oh, well, there's one place that I'm going to in December, which I've always wanted to do, and that's called Newsham Park Hospital in
Ooh.
Liverpool. Now it was an old like an orphanage. It's supposed to be notoriously haunted, so I'm looking forward to going there because again, I've always wanted to go, and I'm going with people, a team that are running an event from there who I know that are good friends of mine. So I'm looking forward to going because I know who I'm going with. it's usually only open to big companies,
Oh.
and hire it out for a ridiculous amount of money. So they've managed to get in and hire it out, and they've kept the numbers really small. So I'm looking forward to going there because I've always wanted to go there. Where else? I'd love to do the Tower of London in London.
Is it accessible?
No. No.
That's what I
But it's a
thought.
place where, like, if I could go and do an investigation, the amount of stuff that happened there, like the tortures and who was held there, the stories behind that place. I mean, that that must be amazing.
Oh yeah, I imagine
But no,
all the beheadings and all
yeah,
oh my God, yeah.
I'd love to go there. I would. I really, really would. Um, where else? Oh, I've got a list. I've literally got a list of places where I would
I
just.
I see the angel ram, the ancient ramen. Did the
I've not
ramen?
yet.
No.
No, that's one place I really want to go to again because I've seen so many people investigate it. I want I want to experience it for myself just to then I just need to. Two good my good friends, they went. They've actually just been this weekend. They went a few months back, and
Okay.
they've captured a shadow, like a shadow figure in there walking
Wow.
past the door, and one of the locked off cameras, which was it was brilliant. He didn't notice it at first until he went through all his footage, and he's gone over it again and again. He was like, "What?" And then you see it clear as day.
Wow.
Um, they've said it's amazing, but then I've had people saying, "No, don't bother." But I need to go for myself. You can't if you can't tell me it's not, and I'm not going to go. I'll go anyway.
Exactly. Well, it's the same on this side of the pond. Sometimes people say, well, don't go do the Conjuring House. It's overrated. Well, I want to do it once in my
Yeah,
life. It's like
that's another one on
you.
the list.
People will say, well, the ancient ramen is so. Well, I want to find out by myself, and I love that kind of approach and attitude. Say, I want to see. I want to.
Yeah, I want to find out for myself because who's to say that it's like 30 East Drive, for example. I'd go back because I want to experience it again. I want to see whether I do get the same things happening. You can't go to somewhere that people have documented as having paranormal activity. You can't go, or should I say, if you go and nothing happens, you can't just off that one experience say, nope, not haunted, and then start telling everybody, no, 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 just because you haven't experienced it. You can't you can't expect everything to happen on demand, on command. It's never going to happen. It's
And
never
that
going to happen. They're not performing monkeys. If activity is going to happen, it will happen as and when, because you don't know what type of activity it is. It might not be intelligent. It might be residual. It might be, it could be something that only happens on one day of the month, or certain time of the day, or certain time that you need to experience it for yourself. And I always say, go back a few times to see whether or not it actually is.
or it could happen that is the entity you're communicating with or you're having an interaction with. It happened that you are the kind of people that she or he wants to talk to,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
probably that as soon as you set a foot into that place, that entity saw you say, no, I don't like him.
Yeah.
And
I agree
nothing
there.
happened.
I've had this conversation with quite a few people actually, and that I do, but I do agree. So I get asked a lot, why do you always get touched? Well, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the feeling of being touched when I don't know who it. I can't see it. I get the feeling where I feel someone's right in my personal space.
Mm,
When someone's in your personal space, you can feel it.
yeah.
And I've had people, do you feel that? But they don't feel that. Well, I don't know. I can't explain that to you. I don't know. But
Have you
I go
ever
in.
did,
It's
sorry, have you ever did like me? Sometimes I do it, ask to an entity to touch you and feel it.
yeah, yeah. I've asked it. I've asked it to do it. Um, sometimes I wish I've not. Yeah. If I'm getting nothing, I'll say, come on, touch me. Do something so I know that you're in. And when you get it happen, then you're like, why is
Yeah.
that just happened? Well, I asked for it. We're expecting it because nothing was happening. But I do think the energy that you bring on an investigation does make a massive difference. I think
Yeah.
your energy that you bring to an investigation and how you approach it, how you approach the investigation is definitely makes a difference, because the way I see them is these were once people. Why why not speak normal? Do you want to knock him? Knock 3 times, Smith. Not why I won't be doing that. If I'm haunting someone, I'm not going to be going, oh, they want me to knock again, so I'm knocking again. No, speak like the people approach them
Yeah.
as because they were one people.
And sometimes the way
You gotta
that you
bring
will ask.
courage. Yeah, but it's interesting. It's really interesting. I do think that used to be me and my niece used to come out with us. My niece used to come out with me, Louise, and she's very sensitive. Actually, as a person, she's sensitive. She gets, she can be really emotional and whatnot. She had so many crazy experiences, and I think that is because of how sensitive she actually is. Not in a psychic way, how she is as a person, and she experienced so much. And it's not necessarily because she's overly overthinking it. She was naturally more open and more sensitive, and she's quite approachable person. So I do think that's one of the reasons why she got so much activity.
And sometimes with the past that you could had like past activity or past interaction with an entity or anything. My feeling that I have, I think it dates back when I went pass through an entity,
Yeah. Oh,
that I stuck with that feeling that I had when that freezing mist went through me.
yeah.
I still have to this day that feeling of, when you sleep on your arm and it starts to tickle.
Pins and needles. Yeah.
Yeah, but my body goes like that.
That's very interesting. That I've seen that happen once. I've seen that experience happen once. Where was that? It's a castle that we were at, and I can't think what the castle called. It's called Dudley Castle, I think. And we was with Ghost on Trent at the time,
Mm.
upstairs, in one of the turret parts, as it led up to where the turret was, and something. He said, "Let's." He went white. He went, "Something's just walked right through me," and he's
Oh,
very skeptical, Paul. He said, "Something's just walked right through me," and that's the only time I've ever experienced that. When I was like, and I seen his face change, like in shock. He's, I don't like that feeling. He said it was like as if something. Oh, he said it was ice cold, as if something just cut right through him. He said
it's
he's never
like
experienced it, but
your
that was
breath
interesting.
is like taking away from you, and
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, whoa, it's so an overwhelming feeling, and just like, that kind of feeling kind of correlates
Yeah.
what the the experience that I live.
Yeah.
And
When you experience something like that, I think you won't, unless you experience it yourself, you'll never understand.
yeah,
you,
exactly.
you
So
try your hardest to explain it to somebody, but you'll never understand.
that's why sometimes I say to viewers, I say to not viewers, but yeah, people that go on YouTube and say, go out there, test it, go and take a
Yeah.
walk in the graveyard. If you see somebody in the graveyard and you turn around like 3 seconds afterwards and he's not there anymore, well, it good.
Yeah.
Oh, Cynthia was here. Thank you, Cynthia, and thank you
Hi,
for
Cynthia.
dropping by. Is Cynthia's a paranormal investigator from New York State.
Oh,
And yeah, Purgatory Paranormal of New York. Go and check her out. And I know she's got another channel. I think she does card reading as well. So
oh, okay.
if you want
Cool.
to check her out,
Yeah, will
and
do.
there's my friend Nicole as well. So we've been at it for 50 minutes. Oh, it was cool. That was nice. That
I love.
was.
I could talk about it all night because it's just honestly I could because there's so much. It's my passion, and I think when you're passionate about something, you'll never get bored.
Oh no.
You'll never.
That's why I love, and that's why I invited you and all the creators I invite. You're passionate, and we see it in your work. We see you when you go. When I discovered you with Moxley, I was gladly. I was like, I found you refreshing.
Oh, thank you. That's lovely.
It's that kind of approach that you bring that we want to see. I don't want to see that the creator that when you hear something, I see you running towards that sound to see what is happening. If you could like pull the bed up, you will do it, and that's the kind of approach. That's the kind of investigator.
Yeah, it's got to be done. Got to be done. Yeah,
Nanny.
I don't think I'll ever stop doing it.
And that's why I love bringing passionate investigators, some genuine people, and that's what I want. People, I want that big community that we have, that is the paranormal community, to like help each other.
Definitely. 100%. It should. That's exactly what we should be doing. This passionate about this, by the way, because it really bugs me. There's so many amazing paranormal investigators and teams out there, and we all have our own ways of doing things. We're not all the same. We're all different. We all have different approaches. We agree on some things. We disagree on other things. However, we should still support each other. It's none of our experts. None of us. You can say you are an expert in something that is yet to be proven. You can be. What's the word? You've been doing it for a while. Good for you. Well done. You know, I've been doing it for ages. Yeah, I'm an expert. I'm learning something new every single day. I love investigating with other people because I like to see how they approach things differently. And I think I like that. I could learn something new from you. Or I like talking about theories because we could both think alike. They might have a different take on it, and you go, "Oh, actually, yeah, you might be right there. Let's try it this way, or try it the other way." There's so many of us out there. We should be spurring each other on, not bringing everybody down. Because the difference is at the moment, what I'm seeing at the moment on YouTube, especially, is too many people want to be the top dog, and it's not about that. If you're doing this to be the top person, then you're in it for all the one reason. You're in it for the wrong reasons. If you do it because you're thoroughly passionate about it, doing it for the right reasons, do it for the right reason. Forget about your views, forget about your subscribers, forget about that just for a second. Focus on what you are good at. The rest will come with it. Do you know what I mean? So stay humble and try and take people's progress. Don't put people down because there's too much of it. And
Yeah.
plenty of room for all of us.
Everybody has his own take, and I always say it like that. Okay, there's like different kind of creators that will kind of provoke things, and
Hmm.
if you provoke things or if you create things, it's fine. It's fine with me, but inform the viewer that it is created.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
come and say and come and go around saying that you are a paranormal investigator, because afterwards people like you, people like Mox, people like Nighthawk, people, even people like Dan Dixon.
yeah.
Dan Dixon for Exploring with Fighters. I never seen a guy so freaking genuine and he wants to learn.
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, definitely.
And
Definitely.
I've seen in investigating, and I've seen people trying to put him down or put every kind of creators that does something good down, but they don't find anything. So
Yeah,
the,
it really bugs me. I think there's a lot of negativity at the moment. There always has been. There always will be. It's never going to go away. But you find a lot of stuff. People at the moment are like really want to bring people down. They're out there to prove that you are fake, or you're out there to prove that you've done something wrong, or
yeah,
you're out. Why? If you're faking it, you're going to get caught. That's what's going to happen.
exactly.
No one's clever enough to. Nobody's clever enough to fake something and get away with it. I mean, somebody will find you out. So if that's what you're doing, don't do it. Just
Or
don't do it. Don't fake it, because you will get caught out. But the
or if
people,
you
because there is
do it,
people out there that are hell bent on proving that.
or if you do it, don't ask people for money or for anything,
No,
saying I need my
yeah,
house to be cleansed or anything, because that is plainly wrong.
yeah, it is. It's wrong. It's taking advantage, and I don't agree
Exactly.
with that. If you are doing it for purposes only, then you need to announce that you are doing it for entertainment purposes only.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of people out there that watch videos who don't have who are able to get out and do this for themselves. A lot of vulnerable people are, this their life. It's people who
Yeah.
can't get out,
And
who
and the thing,
watch the
because
videos and
yeah, sorry. It
no, it's
bugs me
okay.
because it bugs me because I know loads of creators out there need that revenue ad and those revenues from YouTube.
Yeah,
And when those creators come and do those fake things without telling people that they're like doing it for entertainment or asking money for fake cleansing or anything, they're forbidding great small channels to grow
yeah,
because they need that revenue to buy some equipment, buy some fuel for the car,
yeah.
locations. Freaking, I know that one of these days I want to go over and investigate in the UK. Well, freaking plane tickets, it's not free.
No, not at all. Not
And
at all. It's
if
a lot of money. It costs so much money because this has been like my hobby for God knows how many years. It's how long I've been doing it for. I work full time on top of doing this. like as well, like second, it's near like a full-time job on top of a full-time job.
Aye.
I
So,
do
and
work and I
that's
do this as well.
the
It's
thing.
just it costs a fortune to do it,
And
but it is
that's
what it is.
and that's the point, that if you don't need that money, don't go over, and because
Mm.
sometimes people will donate, and when they donate, it is so much appreciated by those small creators that when you give that to that big creators, that for them it's just like pocket change,
Yeah,
they won't even
yeah,
like, I don't know, acknowledge you, or they won't appreciate the fact that you will give from your heart.
yeah. And it's really speaking, why we get donations. I get donations on my channel, and I will acknowledge every single one of them. I'm always grateful because every single bit helps. I don't expect him because I don't expect him because at the end of the day, it's somebody gifting. I expect that because obviously we make revenue off our adverts. The more our videos are pushed out, you make revenue off your ads.
Mm.
So and it's not that much. I think when people get monetized on YouTube, you think, oh my god, I'm monetized, I'm going to be earning a fortune, and it's like, no, you're going to be
No,
very shocked how much you win, because it isn't that much whatsoever. It doesn't even cover the cost of like petrol for a month at
exactly.
all.
It doesn't even
So
cover the rental of a location, but
no, not don't even cover, not even half of so
can
yeah,
buy you a good
it's
cup of
greatly
coffee
appreciated.
though.
Yeah, I mean, when if one day I hope my videos do out there, do reach a bigger, wider audience, hope, and do revenue comes in, so I can get to better places and you know out better locations and stuff like that. But I suppose at the moment, majority of it is my own pocket. So I'm at a loss, but I'll still do it. I still keep going to these places because I'd still be doing it anyway. I find it so interesting and fascinating.
Exactly,
But
and it's the same for me. For me, the day I'm gonna be monetized, it's gonna be just the icing of on the cake, just like the. There we go.
yeah, it's
And
an achievement, and it's the best achievement you can get because it's like, this is amazing.
like for
It
me
is a
to
massive
have
achievement.
a thousand people liking what I do, for me, it's
Yeah,
the biggest pat on the back that a guy can have.
absolutely.
And
It's amazing.
in our field, sometimes we say that our viewers are paid, they're worth $1 million, and it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have 1,000 subscribers that love and come every time and see and click on what I do, that having 1 million of them not even knowing if they are subscribed to me, or they don't even
Yeah,
care.
yeah. When people show interest in you and they are genuinely interested in what you're doing, you're doing something right. And it's I we in my I've, every week I put my premiere up and I do my live chat as and it's lovely. I like speaking to everybody. I've got such a nice community, and then when I dip into other people's chats and I'll be talking and I'll be like, hi, and then people are like, hi Aimee, hi Aimee, and it's like, oh, it's weird because people like know who I am, they recognise who I am, but and it's nice because people know who you are, and it's like when you say hi back to some people, like, oh, thanks for saying hi. Like, of course I'm gonna say hi. I'm just me. I'm just
Exactly.
me. It's nice to be acknowledged, but you know, it doesn't cost anything to be, you know, to acknowledge people that are in your premieres in your chats. Polite, it's manners. If it wasn't for them people, my channel wouldn't be where it is now. I'm forever
Exactly.
grateful for them people.
Exactly.
They're all, I call them like my little family because I'm massively grateful for him. You know, we're still like, I'm me. I'm nothing special. I'm just me. I just put videos out and on YouTube of paranormal videos, and because I enjoy doing it, and I know other people like to. So I love the community, and I think everyone should be great. You know, if you have a community like that, you should be so grateful because
Yep.
they are special. They keep your channel going, and they do it because they love you, what you do. You know, it's lovely, so nice.
And
Stay
just
humble.
watching at the chat right there, you see that all the supporters, and I know that some of those supporters are your supporters as well. So, and that's the good thing, that we have so much awesome community.
Yeah,
And Aimee, thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting you. It was awesome. My girlfriend closed the light. The light is like both places, and she closed the light of the studio, and I have to go because she's going to pick up the kids at
well, thank you
schools.
so much. I really love it. Really appreciate you asking me to come on, and hopefully
Well,
I'll come on again.
yes, I will have you again, and I'm planning, and I know you're in good contact with Moxley. If you can
Yeah,
put me in contact with Mox, that would be really
yeah,
appreciated, and I will be a real pleasure to have Moxley on board.
definitely. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Aimee, and for you guys, right here, I'm coming back on the live. And for you guys, this week, once again, yes, it's hard for me these days to do videos because it is freezing outside, and there are not many places that I could rent out and go investigate. But next week, I'm going to New Brunswick to meet up again with Lomar and Chels to investigate that old courthouse and jail and do my hotel room. And thank you, yeah, thank you for the 1K. And this will be the special that will be filming in New Brunswick, will be the 1K special. Yep, I'm gonna make it my 1K special. So thank you again to Aimee. Bonnie wants to get out, and I'll catch you guys